Welcome, everyone. Bienvenidos, damas y caballeros. Thank you all for tuning in. Your hosts today. I'm Johnny.
And I'm Tom.
And I'm Tadeo.
We are three American expats coming to you from the beautiful capital city of Buenos Aires, Argentina. This is the podcast about everything but nothing, with some expat life news and comedy thrown in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is
The
Velvet Hammer.
Okay, what's going on?
Oh, getting closer to fall here in the southern hemisphere. Although it doesn't feel like it, not at all.
Not
Still
today.
no.
God, it's so hot.
Oh, yeah.
Humid.
The humidity is just
Especially,
killing.
it's hard on us because we had so much blood loss last week from the mosquitoes.
Oh,
We got-
right.
We have iron poor blood,
Yeah.
so we can't deal with this shit.
You heard us talk about the guy who was laying on the street and completely desiccated because of the mosquitoes. We got close to that.
Yeah, the sanitation guys came up and just rolled him up like a rug and tossed him in the truck.
Like, bye. You're done.
Ooh.
Another one bites dust.
Oh my. Dang. Oh.
Wait, oh look, it's a Brahma!
What's that? Oh my goodness! Is that a Brahma? Look at this, Brahma, ladies and gentlemen.
Now we're back to Brahmas.
Oh wow, yeah. I mean, yeah, we did take like a quick break to have some American beers, but
We figured out that Dia beers are basically light Brahmas. They're light
that's
Brahmas.
right. Yeah, like we said last
Light
week,
Brahma.
everyone basically. I mean, most beers sold down here are basically Quilmes beers.
Quilmes, yeah, that's
Yeah,
it. Like
So
Quilmes.
weird. I mean,
God bless Quilmes.
yeah, I mean, it also is kind of shocking that like almost like most of the beers in the world are owned by like one company. It is kind of weird. Like, really?
No.
All the beer in the world is owned by
Seems like everything.
That's true. I guess
Everything's owned by
Well,
one
everything in the
company.
world is owned by
They-
one or two big
They bought the
companies.
trademarks and the brands and the advertising for it. But I'll tell you,
License.
all those beer companies, all these brands you see that's made by one company,
Yeah.
all those brands, their families are filthy
Oh,
rich.
yeah, for sure.
Because they all turn into banks.
Yeah.
After you make beer for 50, 60 years, you got so much money, you don't want to mess with the beer business anymore.
No.
You just become a bank and start making money with money.
Money.
Good.
Ooh. Yeah, oh
That's the
my
way to
God.
do it.
I mean, I wonder how much they pay in licenses to. They probably don't have to pay that much. Well, I don't know.
They own the
That
whole
would be
business
curious.
now. They own the whole game.
Yeah. We should take a trip down to Quilmes and check out the
Absolutely.
fabrica,
We need to do
the
that.
manufactory.
For
We
us
need to-
and for you.
Find somebody who's a little bit on the edge that works there and let him listen to a little bit of a podcast, what we're doing.
Yeah.
And we could get the royal treatment down there.
We could.
The Quilmes treatment.
Yeah.
We'd have to crawl back home.
Oh, Lord.
Right.
I'm sure they have a tasting room.
Oh God.
They have to, yeah.
Ooh. I wonder if they'll let you they'll pour some right out of those big tanks. You taste some fresh beer. I've never had a fresh beer right out of the tank before. That would be cool. That would be cool.
Maybe, it'd be hard to stop, If you
Oh,
got
yeah.
a tank of beer in your refrigerator, you could buy, a keg is like 14 gallons, and a pony was like 7.5 gallons. Well, of beer, and they came out with this little thing that was, I don't know, about a foot in diameter.
Oh, the mini kegs?
Yeah, is that what it's called?
I think the mini kegs. Like Heineken has one.
Yeah, you put it in your refrigerator.
Yeah, mini keg.
In my refrigerator, it lasts about, I don't know, a day and a half.
Yeah, not even.
That's the problem with those things. It never stops.
Yep. Oh goodness gracious. I think I know. I the first one I ever bought was from Heineken. I believe. I was like, what is
I got
this?
you. Yeah, I remember that. You got your graduation. That's
Yeah.
the first time I saw one of
We're
those.
like, what? We're like, we should buy mini kegs because there's gonna be so many people here. Oh, and we ran out. Of course. A bunch of college age kids and
right.
their parents, and then
Good planning, right? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I bought a keg before. It was for like a grad student party.
Oh yeah.
And we went up to the hills and we drank we didn't even drink the whole thing. And people were like waking up in the morning on the floor and the couch.
Oh yeah.
Sounds
was
like,
a
sounds like
rager.
university
Girls
shit.
are washing their hair in it the next morning,
Oh, my
beer
God.
shampoo.
Oh,
It's like,
wow.
Jesus.
I had many keg parties in
Woo-wee.
Atlanta when I lived there, and you put it in a big tub of ice.
Yeah.
And then it becomes, when it gets empty, it becomes a floater. And people go at the party and go, oh, we got a floater over here.
Oh, no.
Oh, time to tap another keg.
Yeah. Ooh.
Tap pump. Boom.
Tap it. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, I do remember like university keg parties. We did that once in our house, and it was like, what the F is going on,
That's a
my
lot
gay
of
ass?
beer.
And all these like drunk frat boys, and they were all like, I'm like, I can't kiss any of you. Wow, what is going on here?
You'd be surprised. Ooh.
God, I have some party stories, but I'm not going to go into them right now.
Right. Yeah, we should.
Somebody, hey, be close to dinner time or something.
Yeah, they're like, oh my
a
God,
little crazy.
what in the world are they talking about? Blasphemy!
Let's save those ones for later.
Wow. Well,
Well, I guess Biden was in Vietnam. Okay. this week.
Vietnam.
Weird. He went to Vietnam.
And he was making a speech, and his aides had to come in and abruptly end the press conference speech because he became totally incoherent.
And that's our president, really?
And I don't know where this came from, but they wouldn't report it. Probably AP or Reuters, something like that. I didn't look that part up. But it's on many different websites.
Did they have the video? The video was there?
They probably would not.
Probably
they were
not.
Like, they probably they killed that video.
Yeah.
They're like,
Right.
anyone who has footage of this, kill it now.
Not
Oh.
gonna happen.
Wasn't like
But
that.
Trump did the same thing. He was in Nashville and made a speech someplace, I don't know where it was, and they said he was 90 minutes late to the Coliseum where he was speaking, and they couldn't understand. He became a little incoherent with his words, was slurring his words.
Slurred.
He wasn't
He
incoherent.
was slurred.
But he had, in particular, this biased news outlet said he had a problem saying the word evangelica.
Oh, evangelical.
I can't even say evangelical.
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 Evangelicals.
No.
Evangelical.
Evangelist. It's evangelical.
There's evangelicals, the religion, and then there's an evangelist, a person who is
Right.
very open
How
about
do
sharing.
you say that word?
Evangelical.
Evangelic.
When you're talking about like for example, I'm an evangelist for 111 Entertainment. Like I evangelize. I'm like, oh, I'm going on. Hey, you should check out our company. But then there's the evangelicals, the religion. I don't.
Had to be evangelicals.
Yeah, the
So anyhow,
evangelicals.
he couldn't say the
So-
word, neither could I.
Yeah.
I tried. So hey,
So
you know,
bad.
there's a difference between being senile,
Right,
and,
right.
and being
Oh.
a little bit tipsy from your private jet ride from
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Well, then there's also
Florida.
being Mitch McConnell, who had like 2 live strokes on live TV, I think.
Oh my God.
I don't know if there was video of
I
Mitch
kind of
McConnell.
remember that.
Oh,
Yeah.
He just
That's ridiculous.
bit his bottom lip and just
Why?
stared off into space. He had like a stroke on
What
live
is
TV
going on
2
with like
times.
the American politicians?
What's
Why are
going
they?
on?
They're all old and dead.
Nobody
They're having
is coming
strokes.
to the forefront.
They're
The younger people, younger in their 40s and 50s, they just don't have any. They
Yeah.
don't have anything to them.
Right, like my generation should be standing up right now. I'm 36. I could be president. So all the kids that graduated with me should be like up there, at least
Yeah.
a representative of their state.
I think
But-
they don't have money, they don't have the backing,
That's true.
and
we
these
did.
old people don't want to let go.
Fair.
Even the Democratic side, I keep forgetting her name. Was it Barbara Boxer or Dianne Feinstein?
Feinstein.
The one who died in office?
Feinstein.
Yeah, her. Didn't want to give up. Now Mitch McConnell is giving up his post.
Oh God.
He's not going to run again.
Oh, okay.
Thank God.
But finally, they're finally letting go, and I don't know if the young people have the.
Because they just can't. They can't anymore. They're so old.
Imagine, if you will, Beavis and Butthead, okay, at 45 years old, right, running the country.
Basically.
Oh,
Hey, Beavis.
President Butthead.
Hey, Beavis. Guess
That's
what?
it.
Guess what? We have a nuclear bomb. We should drop it, right? That would be so cool.
Yeah, that would be cool, right, Beavis? Yeah. Let's drop a nuclear bomb. Hey, I'm going to call you. I see nuclear bomb on my bunghole.
That's it. What a creation.
Oh, damn. I was an MTV generation.
The television would have to cut to a Power Rangers episode.
There we go.
Cut! Run the Power Rangers.
Right.
We're gonna lose our audience.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Wow. But it is.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, baby. Oh, Yeah, Beavis was the weird one, and Butthead was. They were both weird.
Hey guys out there in Cyberland, send us an audio of your best Beavis or Butthead impersonation.
Oh, yeah.
We would love to hear it, and if we get some good ones, we'll play it right here and give you credit.
We'll do it. That would be fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because everybody can do it. I can't do it, but everybody can do it.
Yeah, I just did it right now, and it wasn't that great, but it was close.
It was on mark. You can do it. Come on, send it in. We want to hear from you.
Oh, that would be fun. Oh my goodness. We would laugh our asses off for hours. We'd be like, oh my God, what the hell?
President Butthead.
Where does this guy live? Rochester? Rochester. Wasn't he the servant on the Jack Benny show?
Oh my goodness.
What was that one?
Oh no.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, yeah.
Ooh.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
folks.
Lord,
I'm not
no.
sorry.
Woo.
Hey, what
Sorry, not
else?
sorry.
Oh, well, I mean, okay.
I'm still going with Biden here.
Oh, yeah, roll it.
The primaries in Michigan happened. Trump obviously won easily. But then Biden lost a sixth of the vote to people saying uncommitted. Yeah, it was a protest.
What the hell is going on?
Because of the war in Gaza, and Michigan has the highest population of Arabs in any other
Oh,
state.
yes, yeah. Oh, Detroit
Yeah.
is completely
Deerwood, I think it's Deer Lake.
Detroit is crazy.
Wow.
So
Interesting. Did not
they
know
were
that.
expecting way fewer, but they got 100,000 people to vote. 1/6 basically of the people who voted uncommitted, because Biden is like flubbing this war in Gaza.
Oh my
I don't know if you saw the interview. He was like eating ice cream, like maybe we'll end it by Monday.
Oh,
And he's eating ice cream like
Oh,
these
my.
people are starving. Whatever. I'm not going to put my position on that.
What is going on with the United States right now?
Also, another government shutdown was just avoided.
Oh, in the United States?
Yeah,
They
doesn't
do
happen
this every year.
Every
They do
month,
it
no.
all the time.
Seems like every
It's
month
it's a
now.
I
thing.
don't really understand.
They just do it for political
They
reasons.
say we're not going to pay any money. Well, they don't have any money.
Exactly.
What do we owe? $3 trillion now
Oh,
in debt?
so much. I don't even know the number. I gave up on the numbers. I gave up.
They're saying soon
figure
that
it
the
out.
interest is just going to take over.
Yeah.
And there will be no money for Social Security. That'll go, then infrastructure, and the whole thing will collapse.
Yeah. Oh my
And then
God.
China will just fit right
They
now.
need a Milei in the United States. That's what they
Yes.
need. Like and I say this more like an economist who will buckle down and say, you know what, this is what we need to do, and you know what, F it, we're doing it, and do it. Doesn't have to be a libertarian, doesn't have to be a Trumpist, doesn't have to be a Democrat, just somebody strong enough who knows how to do economics. Please. Someone who can balance a fucking checkbook.
Your Reaganomics here.
It's all about money.
Just balance
Always.
a checkbook, come on. Like, really? Like,
Almost, it seems like you're coming from that Reaganomics side. Ronald Reagan.
I didn't even know what that is.
The government's
I was
here.
I was like,
keyword, I think, was trickle down.
Trickle down,
I
that's
mean,
what it is.
if the
It's bad, though.
if the super rich and make more money, then that money will trickle down to the other classes below them.
Trickle
I
down
definitely
effect.
was, yeah.
Maybe not.
No,
Never.
by
It'll trickle down to the yacht builders
yeah, right.
There we
and
go.
Rolls Royce.
Yeah, of which I would love to help trickle down to one day.
I don't know what's going on with Milei here. Milei's had
Oh.
nothing but protests and strikes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, since we were talking about evangelicals, and well, this isn't directly to Milei, but I think a couple weeks ago or last week, I was talking about how the soup kitchens are having all these big lines. They have since doubled again. The lines are around the corners now. There are like construction workers, maintenance art people, like people who have jobs who cannot afford food, and they're going to the soup kitchens. Now, but here's the kicker, because we already talked about that. The Ministry of Human Capital, which is what Milei created when he knocked down the Education, Social Security, Welfare, and Labor offices, he put them all into this new office. The head, Sandra Petonello, she went to a protest of people protesting the soup kitchens not getting money, and she was like, hey, F this, how about I take it personally? Instead of going to all these soup kitchens, you come to me and I will give you I will give you help directly. Come directly to the government. So people started showing up at her office. all of a sudden, all these people show up at her office. She doesn't show up. And then what does she do instead? She gives a fraction of the budget to 2 religious organizations to distribute.
Oh, there goes 90% of the money.
Yeah.
God, you're gonna give them $1 and 10 cents of it gets to the people.
And
This kind of reminds me of the French Revolution. You know, Marie Antoinette said, "Oh, let them eat cake." Back then they just came in and chop your heads off. I mean,
Right.
Deal. But,
And so apparently, like the Milei administration has been slashing the budget for soup kitchens and such because he's trying to cut down on the graft and such. He goes, they're doing cuts, but they're arguing that it's because the people are stealing these poverty managers, they call them, they're being very problematic as intermediaries between the government and the people. So they're saying the people aren't getting all the money the government's giving.
Clearly.
So he's like, we can slash the budget and also slash out these poverty intermediaries and then give the money directly to the people. I think that's what she's trying to argue, but sadly,
off wrong.
they gave it to a intermediary,
Yeah.
2 religious organizations.
Yeah, that's
well, okay.
the middleman.
there's
Yeah.
problems. Oh, Milei was in the United States.
So what do we think about that?
Well, yeah, the middleman always cuts money out, so that's a problem. Got to go from money to
especially if it's a church.
Yeah. Well.
God. Oh, and that's because one was Catholic, the other was evangelical.
Oh, okay. Cover the bases.
I'll say. So Milei did go to the States.
Yes, he did, and he
Oh,
met
yeah.
with Biden. They said the Biden administration. They didn't say that he met with Biden.
No,
But
Biden.
apparently means he did not.
Yeah, Biden was
But
probably sleeping.
Right after that meeting, or within the first day, the first afternoon, he went to meet Trump.
Yeah, and he
And he
introduced
walked up
him.
to him and gave him a big hug.
Yeah.
Which Trump was like, "Whoa, hey man,
Yeah.
what?
He's like, I don't know you."
We don't do this in the States."
Oh, yeah.
But here, everybody hugs.
Yeah.
And they had a big warm time. We still haven't heard the speech he gave. He gave a
Yeah.
speech to CPAC.
Yeah,
Milei did.
yeah.
See on that.
Conservative Political Action
Committee.
Committee.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, which is the big one.
Yeah, and so like that's curious because that means Milei is taking a big stance as pro-American, and that's also
yeah, he came for the
did it
dollar.
right there.
Yeah.
I mean, when he walks up and hugs Trump,
yeah.
that's pretty serious.
Yeah, so I think he's trying to like really he's like, come on, we
Well-
need American dollars, and also maybe be nice to us with our IMF loans.
I mean, Anthony Blinken was just there.
Yeah, Blinken. That's right. Blinken
The day
was here.
before, Blinken saw him, and then as soon as Blinken left, he went to go visit Trump.
Right.
And that's why I think Biden was like, I don't think I'm going to talk to this person.
Yeah. I mean, Biden might just be a little bit worried. Well, he's got to be worried. He's not going to win the next election. No
Clearly.
way. No way
I
you
mean,
could
he-
sleep on the job. No way you get pulled off in a foreign country because you're incoherent. That's ridiculous.
I mean, he gets pulled off all the time for being incoherent.
like I can't abide by that. I can't.
I
But
can't
I guess
abide by
I guess
Well,
I can't abide by that.
I've had a problem with Biden since he was elected. You know, it was just such a sham. But anyhow, we're not going to go there.
No.
So Milei is doing some good stuff around. Oh, we had today in Argentina, or maybe just Buenos Aires, we had an air transportation strike.
Oh, that was yesterday, Wednesday.
I thought it was
Nope.
today.
It was Wednesday.
They
the
still
planes
might
are
be
flying
going.
today.
Oh.
Planes are flying.
Yeah, I heard them flying, taking off from.
They were
where?
flying yesterday, too. I was near the Aero Park.
No, that's Spain. What is it?
Borges.
Ezeiza.
And there's one next to our house,
See.
Borges.
Ezeiza.
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 Borges was flying all day today. I heard them all morning. Just.
They were flying yesterday, though, too.
Oh, fair enough.
But I think they were just less flights.
Yeah. Actually, on that, they canceled 330 flights.
That's a day's worth of airfare.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
There's only 330
Yeah.
flights going in.
a Starbucks in South Bronx.
Yeah.
Does that much in the rush hour? 300 people.
Yeah.
300 flights. That is. You know,
Dallas Fort
yeah.
Worth does that in its first hour.
Yeah, see, that's true. Yeah.
It's-
You know, like wow, geez.
Yeah,
300
and
flights,
most
300
of the
people
planes
each.
are those dual prop, propeller planes.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
have you ever been on one of those? It's like
No.
like climbing into a pencil or something.
You're like,
You
what?
got two
Oh,
seats
wow.
on one side and one seat on the other side. And
Oh,
the
yeah.
aisle, and then it kind of alternates so the plane doesn't tip. And,
Oh, shit.
You're heading for Washington. You end up in Atlanta because the the plane's tip.
going
It's like,
on?
oh, what the hell is that?
They had to set their aileron trim.
I was on like a-
Those planes are so loud. Those prop planes.
Yeah, I was on one of those. I was on a 4-seater, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. It sounded like a lawnmower, and the wind would just blow us through the air. That was the
Puts
scariest
a lot of
thing.
confidence in you when you're
like,
cruising
what?
about 5,000 feet. You know?
It was one of the, so we had to fly kind of low, and it looked like we were going so slow. We just went across the bay to Catalina Island and back, but it was so slow, and you could see the big airlines passing way above, and it was all right, here we are.
Look down at the highway and you see a motorcycle pack going past faster than you.
Yeah,
You can't keep up
The
with it.
Cessna can't do it. Like,
Just blowing in the wind. Oh, that was terrifying.
Yeah, there's a lot of Cessna 225s here too.
That's
I mean,
what it was.
That's a good plane. You know, it seats like 5 or 6.
They've been kicking for a
So
while.
that's-
See, now I
that's
saw
some of the
those
300
yesterday.
flights that they cancel.
Okay.
Those were flying yesterday, the Cessnas. The
And
jets
like-
weren't flying.
That's Aerolíneas Argentinas, and that's
Yeah.
a government-owned airline.
Yeah.
So the government directly pays all the people there.
They
They're
were
basically
protesting their raises. They wanted
Yeah.
more. They wanted a bigger raise.
Yeah, the unions wanted they wanted more than 12%. Argentina offered 12%, and the unions there's 3 unions in the airlines, and all 3 said no.
Hell no.
So- but they just-
but inflation is 200%.
Exactly.
But they just
It's like
increased
20%
the
a month.
minimum wage, so it's 12% above.
Yeah, but I mean, inflation every month is 20%.
Right, yeah.
So if you can't raise my rate more than 20%,
Then
I
you're
mean,
not raising it more than inflation. I guess.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
So I don't know.
God, yeah. I mean, but like Milei said, no hay plata.
Well,
No, I plata. There's no money.
Right, but then he has it in the works. He's like, hey, hold on. We don't have money to pay you. We can give you a raise, but we're going to put you back into private ownership, and they will be able to pay you. So don't worry. I think that's kind of the thing going on.
private ownership, so it's kind of scary.
But at least, I mean, they'll get paid at least as much as an American Airlines person, and at least they get.
Yeah, probably. And the first day of school in Argentina was day before yesterday. All the kids went back to school, and the teachers, I don't know if they're on strike, but they're
I think they stopped.
very close to going on strike.
They did.
They did.
did
I think they
strike.
stopped
He
their
knows this
strike
guy.
last week. It was last week they striked, so I think this week it was over.
So this
So
week they
school is
start
starting.
One extra week of
Apparently.
vacation, kids. Your teachers don't want to work. Your teachers want more vacation.
They want more money. They want to be able to eat the last
Teachers-
week of the
yeah,
month.
your
Yeah,
teachers
right.
are starving.
Oh my God, they're starving just like you and your parents.
Jesus.
Oh wait, your parents gotta get to work. Oh yeah, your parents just got fired. Oh wow. Oh wait, you're in line at a soup kitchen that can't feed you. Oh, look at that.
Well, that's a happy thought.
Alrighty.
I just went there.
You went there. That was just too deep. But
But it's
that's the
probably
way it
true.
is. We try to be honest
Probably
in
true.
what we say.
Yeah,
and we are
It's the
honest
truth.
in the things we say. And
It's
if,
true.
If we make a statement that's that we don't know it for sure it's true, we'll tell you. We don't
we'll
know for
correct
sure
it.
this is true.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Be
right.
straight up with you.
I mean,
Wow.
Yeah, we got our.
At least it's like a controlled starvation instead of just complete inflation. And people, back in the 80s, I think it was, people were creating their own money. They would get their own IOUs together and have all little communities that would work together. And they would basically manage their own, I guess, what's it called? Money?
It's a barter system.
Yeah, like a barter system
Barter
almost.
system. That works.
Huh.
But at least it's somewhat controlled instead of being completely out of control.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it could be.
Actually, the article in Reuters.
Reuters.
When I was reading about the poverty thing, the soup kitchens, they said a lot of the problem is that most of this government money, that which isn't taken by the intermediaries, doesn't really get to the people because most small communities do exactly that. They run their own their own help. Like if somebody is starving, like your neighbor will bring you food, and everyone sort of helps and they all pitch in to keep each other alive and keep each other in a good well-being. But that's slowly not working anymore because it's getting way too prohibitively expensive.
Yeah, there's no more
Well,
handouts.
anyhow.
Yeah, let's see.
Life's a bitch and then you die.
Right? I mean, yeah, exactly. Fuck it.
That's how we get high.
Eventually, if Milei has his way, he's going to keep devaluing the currency until it's on line with the dollar. And once it's on line with the dollar, that should really put a close to inflation unless they keep printing money out the ass.
Well, he's also cutting out subsidies. He put out a list of, so there's a light or electricity and gas subsidies that a lot of people have been having or getting.
Yeah.
And he made a whole list. If you have a boat or a private plane, you can't get these subsidies, obviously.
Wow.
But then there's also
Why
ones
would
like,
you have a subsidy in the first place?
if you've bought foreign currency, which a lot of people do, but they didn't put a limit. Like if you buy $100, that should be fine. But if you bought maybe $5,000-$10,000, maybe you should be exempt from these subsidies.
Yeah, you shouldn't get a subsidy. I mean, that's an investment mechanism. If you're an investor, you shouldn't get a subsidy to invest. You should have extra money to invest.
Well, it's subsidies for your light and gas bill.
Oh, what the fuck?
But
That's
yeah,
weird.
so a lot of people are getting cut out of
that's
these.
strange.
I invested in the dollar with my pesos, but because I invested in the dollar, I get a subsidy on my electric bill. What?
No, you don't get a subsidy anymore.
But now you used to.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't.
I
Make
think
any
it
sense.
went
That's
that everyone
ridiculous.
would have subs in like America. You have to apply for a subsidy or a tax break.
Yeah.
Here, I think it's just
Automatic.
everyone automatically gets it, and then you have to exempt yourself.
Yeah.
So now Milei is saying, "I'm going to exempt all you people."
I'm going to
who are-"
exempt everyone. Yeah, you're all exempt.
Not everyone, but people who are making too much
He's
money.
slashing, gashing. He is
Yeah.
slashing and
Oh,
gashing.
and then all the oil
Wow.
fields in Argentina are down south where it's cold and in Patagonia.
And northern Chubut
And
Chubut, yeah,
they
Chubut.
got a
they
whole thing on that
threatened
one. It's
Malay's government to cut
Chubut is south,
cut the supply.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They threatened Malay's government to cut the supply of gas
Yeah.
and oil
Yep.
to the country.
Yep.
And Milei came back and said, "Don't threaten me.
Yeah.
Says you're not doing anything to me. You're doing this to the
The
Argentine
Argentine
people."
people. Yeah, he called it a move of extortion, not against the Argentine government, but the Argentine people. But what's the whole problem? It's because Argentina held back 13.5 billion with a B pesos, which is $16 million plus or minus, in tax disbursements to Chubut. And they said it's because they gave them an appropriate discount for the debt that they owe us. Chubut owes debt to the state of to Argentina.
Chubut? What's that?
Chubut is one of
It's
the
a state. It's like California.
It's a state. It's a province.
Oh, okay.
Texas.
The
yeah.
province of Chubut,
Uh-huh.
and so they have a debt to Argentina, and Malay's calling that debt in. So he gave them a discount. He's like, okay, he gave them money, but not as much money as they were expecting.
Okay, I see.
And so now they want to cut gas to the rest of the country for that.
Right.
But
In
they're
cold
doing it
winter,
into-
I guess.
Yeah, he said.
They're
Yeah, what did he say?
threatening.
The relevant discount was made according to your debt.
But it's not just Chubut. It's Niquen, Santa Cruz.
But they didn't go up in arms and go crazy. They accepted it. And,
I think
Well,
it's
not
like,
that we know of. Not
I
that
think
I
there are
know.
6 provinces who are refusing. Niquen,
they're gonna have to get used to it.
Santa Cruz, which is in the south, Tierra del Fuego.
I mean, these are oil and gas moguls. They have plenty of cash.
And the people don't.
Jesus. Why are they so mad that they're
Well,
not getting
they
money
want
from the
it.
government
They
when they
want it
sell
all.
oil, like one of the most valuable commodities on the planet, other than like rocks and shit, or actually lithium nowadays. But
Yeah, rocks.
come on, like what? Really? You're gonna get angry because you're not getting a subsidy for your rich ass? Oh.
The most expensive things in the
Oh,
world. yeah.
did you hear that Germany legalized recreational pot?
Oh,
Just
what?
this week.
Finally.
I mean, now you can walk the streets of Berlin, smoking pot.
High as hell.
Not risk a 10 euro fine.
Right.
The police stop
A 10 euro
You
fine.
shouldn't be smoking pot on the street. There's 10 euros. You got to pay this. My God.
Did they put a tax into place for it? Like, if they
I
legalize
imagine
it,
they did, yeah. It seems-
Oh yeah.
they're probably gonna make a
Well,
lot
that's been
of
the
money.
argument for decades. A country needs to legalize marijuana so that they can
Tax it.
have it and tax it.
Yeah, that worked in California. We made billions. Well, California made billions. I ain't in California no more, but they made lots of money.
Sure.
Lots.
It works in Amsterdam and
Yeah, Amsterdam's been doing
lots
this for
of other places.
years and
Nevada-
decades.
Nevada did it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Nevada did
So
it. They
Las
banked it.
Vegas is in the money.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Nevada's
legal
roll.
in Nevada?
Yeah. Oh, they rolling in dough.
Recreational and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding. I
Yeah.
didn't know any place was recreational. I thought.
Yeah, apparently high people don't have as good steaks on the craps table. That's a joke. That's a joke.
They don't walk away.
Yeah, then I was like, oh wow, the colors. No, I'm just kidding.
I know this. And, Las Vegas has some of the nicest high-end weed shops. They really cater to you in these shops, so they make a lot of money on weed there.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure Germany could do the same.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm sure
Germans
it's in
smoke
the process
weed.
right now.
Yeah.
Huh?
Probably. I mean, by the time you decriminalize something, you probably have a law in place for the legality of it.
Sure, you got to keep the supply going.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, and now boom, all sellers have to register with the government, and this is the tax, and these are the price ranges and all that, and if you make this much, this is what tax you get, and blah 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 blah. Blah.
So I know that Uruguay, which is right across the river, we talked about the 30-mile wide river the other day. Uruguay pot is totally legal. No problem. People
They're
walking down the
so
street in
nice
Montevideo,
anyway.
they're walking down the street smoking pot. It's not a big deal.
so
What are the
nice
laws
over
here
there.
in Buenos Aires? What,
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
It's illegal.
But
It's
everyone,
illegal.
Yeah.
but everyone smokes it.
Hey, yeah, everyone does.
It's just like public drinking is technically illegal.
Technically.
Illegal. But you can be smoking pot right in front of a cop and they don't give a shit.
Because they're like, fuck it, this is useless.
Everyone smokes weed
Well,
here. You can
yeah,
smell
it's
it. You smell it all across
Yeah.
the
Even in Palermo, we're like walking around like, oh, I smelled that.
Sweet.
Oh, you smell it all the time in Palermo.
Yeah, always. Like we just walking like, oh, someone's smoking.
They do something to it, and I knew a guy that owns a bar over there, and I said, "What is that smell? It smells like dog shit."
Oh, they do. There's
And they put some kind of cocaine derivative in
there's
the
a
pot.
name for that.
There's porro and there's flores.
Right.
It's like if you
Probably
smoke
flowers, 'cause I
flowers,
know-
Well, flowers are the good stuff.
that's just the actual
Pure
flower.
marijuana flower.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's delicious. It smells wonderful.
Like,
Yeah.
We call it
Like
sensibility.
strawberry kush
Without
or
seeds.
orange junkie head or whatever.
If
I
you're
don't
in Palermo,
know.
yeah, you're getting that good.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
then there's-
strawberry, blueberry, lemon, all these wonderful
Yeah.
flavors.
Oh yeah.
Delicious.
When I was a kid, they used to spray Raid on the pot.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Why would
There's-
you do
well,
that?
mescaline is basically strychnine
Mescaline.
in
That's
a different
nutmeg.
form. Yeah, the mescaline
From the
it's
cactus.
a derivative from something.
Oh,
Cactus.
Yeah, that's cactus.
It's like peyote. Mescaline comes from
mezcal.
cacti.
Mezcal,
Yeah.
what do you drink?
The
Tequila.
mezcal.
Which one comes from?
Tequila, mezcal.
Peyote, mescaline. Yeah, those come from cactus.
Which one
Yeah.
comes from nutmeg?
Oh,
Whatever, no worries.
So anyhow, it's got,
Sure, yeah.
it's got some element of strychnine in it.
Oh,
I believe
gross.
is what we heard. And what the pot dealers, 50 years ago
Ew.
in Kansas,
Gross.
they spread it out and they sprayed Raid bug killer on it because it gave it just that little hint of strychnine to really get you off.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
I think of all the shit that I put into my body, not
terrible.
knowing what it was when I was young. I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
It's funny how
I
people.
don't do anything now. I don't smoke, I don't toke, I don't ingest, I don't do anything. Brahma is my favorite, as a matter of fact. It's my main
Oh,
vice.
Lordy.
Oh, Brahma, okay.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Time for that Brahma. Whoa.
Already, wow. Our that's already our shameless capitalistic product.
It's time. Would you say yes?
Is it really? Is it really time
Yes,
for
it
this?
is. Yes,
It
it
is
is.
time.
Shameless capitalistic product plug? What?
And the winner is
Shameless capitalistic product plug. Oh,
Ding, 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 ding.
Brahma.
There we go.
All right, guys. If you ever do come down, you must try one of these Quilmes made Brahmas.
And we have a little audio blurb for each one of these brands. We have Brahma, then we have Imperial,
Oh, you've been hearing those jingles, I'm sure.
and we
Quilmes.
have Budweiser,
Yeah, we've got
and
Quilmes.
we have Quilmes. Now, if you would please, write in and
You know
tell
what?
us what's your favorite little blurb.
Yeah, if you're listening on Spotify, there will be a small poll just under this podcast. If you scroll, if you just flick up, just vote. We're gonna do on this podcast. Which is your favorite jingle?
Jingle chord, yes.
Yes, and we're not gonna say all them again because we're gonna jingle you to death.
No, it's enough. Well, a beer, like Shakespeare said, a beer by any other name still pops. The same.
Oh, I'm slow every week. Good God, I'm taking it easy.
Taking it easy.
Oh, no, that's a different thing.
Well, I'm gonna go to Texas.
Texas.
Let's go ahead and pick on a place. So we picked on
Let's
Florida.
pick on someone.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
We pick on Texas.
Let's pick on someone.
It's the middle of winter, by the way, in the northern hemisphere. Texas, yesterday was their 5th largest fire. Today, it's the 2nd largest fire. It has grown to be the 2nd largest fire they've ever experienced since they started keeping record. So over a place, we always use like Rhode
Which is
Island.
like hundreds of years.
Yeah, hundreds of years.
Yeah, so they have hundreds of years of record.
It's about to be
large-ass fire.
It may be the largest fire they ever had, depending on how it goes in the next few days. It might be the largest fire they've ever had on record.
It's still burning.
It's up in the Panhandle, up there near Oklahoma and through Texas. Up
I
there.
guess by the time you guys hear this, the fire will
What
be
the
over and we will know.
But it's not only like yeah. Jesus.
We're on a bit of delay, folks.
Yeah,
if you've noticed.
So you're saying the migrant death toll is going to come forth?
Ooh,
You know,
goal.
killed in the fires. How many migrants?
Damn.
That's what they're going to spin it into. Oh, this terrible fire
Possibly.
that killed all these people. No, my take on wildfires is that it is a natural progression of nature.
Ooh, I mean, there's
Because
two things.
it has to tear down the vegetation, and it's amazing how fast it grows back.
Right.
We
Right.
have a lot of
Carbon
wildfires in the past in Italy,
Right.
and it just decimate a couple of mountainsides or more, and they're dropping helicopters, not dropping water from helicopters, and trying to put it out, and I'm like,
Let it burn.
let it burn. That's the natural thing. And it doesn't take long. It's like 2 or 3 years, and it's all green again.
Well, the
New.
there's two sides of it. Yes, it is a natural thing. The problem is that this climate change is the water density of trees has reduced so much in the past years because of droughts and lack of rain, that the water density of trees is no longer capable of withstanding these forest fires that normally it would be able to withstand with full density of water. So before there would be a huge fire, it would burn the outside bark, but the water density would stay strong and repel the fire. Now the water density of trees it's like all the way to the core, barely holding the tree on. So the tree will literally just burn up. So the fires are getting worse and worse because the trees don't have any more water density. That's why it's such a issue. And they flew planes over California, particularly the Sierra Nevadas, scanning the water density over the course of many years, and the water density of trees has gone way down. Like the trees don't have any water. So they say wildfires are just going to burn the trees up because they don't have their natural protection of being full of water. Like a fire is like, oh, this thing's full of water, and so it's not going to burn.
Yeah.
It kind of
But
stops
now,
the fire.
now it
But
doesn't
the
do that
fire
anymore.
burns the underbrush and passes by the
But
trees.
yeah, the underbrush that bit
The
works.
trees remain.
Right.
But-
And it'll pop the pine cones open and create new growth. Yes, that is all true.
Yeah.
But the
Pine
change-
cones need fire to actually pop open.
Yeah,
so
they pop.
it needs fire.
But the,
to-
that
Really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
but the
That's why
problem
they're so
is
tight. They need the fire, and then they pop, and next thing you know, and all that ash
all
and
these trees come up.
nitrogen, trees
Yeah.
start coming out.
But it's the water density of the forest that's really fucking everything up.
But
That's the
looking
issue.
at Texas, we're looking at like the plains,
the truth is, I mean,
cows.
yes,
Oh yeah.
they
It's
need
flat.
the fires.
Yeah, it's
but-
flat out there.
Go ahead, sorry.
But they've lost thousands of heads of cattle
Oh my god, to fire?
to this huge ass fire. Yeah.
Oh my god!
No kidding.
That's the biggest barbecue. Like, what? Go get that! Get that
Lord.
food!
Yeah, send the migrants up there with some
Would you like a
salsa.
little migrant with your
Jesus.
beef?
Oh my god, we got brisket, we got burnt rib, we got ribs.
Yeah, we've got
We've got
got
pure
carnita. No, not
Venezuelan.
barbacoa. Yeah.
I can't
my
even say it. We got some
Damn.
Venezuelan over here. We've got some Peru,
Wow.
Peruvian here.
And it was cooked alive, so it was probably really tasty.
Oh, and what's really good is the Colombian. You gotta taste the Colombian. That's a special sauce.
Jesus.
I will tell you
Oh my
what's in
God.
it.
But this is Texas fire. How do
That's
they
such
have
a- I don't know if they're that far up there. I mean, it's right. It's near Oklahoma and that big, the hat of Texas. And yeah, lots and lots of cattle have burned.
Jesus.
It was a fire I think it was in Kentucky.
Good God, I would
And
love to try some
I
of that
think
barbecue.
3 chicken coops burned down, which contained like over 1 million chickens.
Barbecue chicken.
But there's at least
But the smoke was black.
I know.
in the
Like it was-
small ones, there's 5,000 chickens.
Yeah, look
I
at that.
actually went to
A million,
a chicken production place in Tennessee one time. It was owned by Tyson, and they were having
Tyson owns all
a
the-
chicken. They only keep the chickens for 3 months, and by the time they go from an egg to 3 months, they're ready for the grill.
What
right?
the?
Yeah.
And so
3
you have to
months?
go in. You got 5,000 chickens
grow
in,
so
this,
fast.
in this big room,
They grow
and you
so-
have to go and physically catch the chickens by their feet and put them in these little cages.
Deboners.
Everybody's seen those
Decapitators.
trucks going down the highway with the feathers flying out of it.
Oh, full of chickens.
Everybody's seen that. Well, I was on ground zero for that and actually caught the chicken.
Wait, so in Texas, did a whole fucking chicken farm like that burn down?
Yeah, I think it was in Tennessee or Kentucky.
An entire chicken farm like that with
No,
thousands
no,
and
no.
thousands of chickens?
Millions of chickens.
Oh, that's a lot of
I think three,
barbecue
like,
chicken.
But apparently all the
That's
chemicals
good,
and whatever was in it,
Oh,
the chickens
God.
were burning black.
Damn.
The black smoke coming out
So
of
the
there.
price is jumping up at Kroger.
Tyson's gonna, the prices
Yeah,
are gonna
not
go up,
only-
and Tyson has a really nice insurance settlement coming
Not
up.
only for chickens, but for the beef, because the beef burned.
Oh, that's right.
That's a lot of beef.
Oh my God.
So
There are,
food
What a
shortage.
waste.
oh my God.
What a waste.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what a
just
waste.
burnt.
Oh, and also, I mean, it's a carbon output like food. Like all those chickens like produce a lot of carbon. All those cows produce a lot of carbon.
Yes.
That fire produced a lot of carbon. Like the amount of carbon being produced by this fire is probably decimating the fucking
Sad.
world right now.
I just think people are going to be hungry because food prices are already going up, and now there's less beef, less chicken,
You can
less
always become a
whatever was
vegetarian.
going there. Wheat was going.
You can eat
People-
some. You can eat soy.
Please. Please
Soy?
don't hit me with that vegetarian bullshit.
Eat some soy and
Have
grow
you
some
ever-
breasts.
Have you ever really known somebody who was a vegetarian all
Yes.
their life?
Uh-huh.
Take a good look at them, the way their
Yep.
skin sags all over, and they don't have any muscles and all this. Hey, look at my teeth.
But the
There's
lip-
some pointy ones over here. They're called canines.
And they're meant
the
for
reason
eating
I
meat.
have these canines in my mouth, and you have them too, is because we need to eat meat.
Ooh.
We are the top of the food chain,
And
and we need meat.
until we become so smart that we literally don't, or they start putting out this carbon
Impossible
tax.
meat.
Oh,
Have you seen this Impossible
right.
meat? They're
Oh,
starting
talk about
they're
that.
starting to grow fake meat. Some of it comes from human flesh.
Wait
So
a
you
second,
can grow
wait a second.
meat.
I kind of missed. I missed that
Yeah.
sequitur there.
Yeah,
That's
so-
a non sequitur. Run that by
Non-sequitur.
one more time, please.
So there are three types. I would say three types of new meat that are coming out. We have
New meat.
like a slurry of vegetable byproduct, which
Oh,
makes
yeah,
a type of
Johnny.
meat. Yeah, he's done.
I'm sickened. I'm
We're
sickened.
on the air.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm sickened. Go ahead.
The impossible
Ugh.
meat, I think it's like a slurry of vegetable products that they
Ugh.
make taste like meat. It's like a slurry.
Slurry is not
really
a good word, but
Yeah,
it makes
yeah.
it sound very unappetizing.
That's why I don't think, and it tastes like shit anyway. I don't think you've ever tried one. They taste like shit.
Hey, and today we have slurry shit.
Yeah, it tastes like
On
shit.
the menu.
I'll take the slurry burger with extra
Menu.
cheese.
Menu
Yeah.
del giorno.
Right. Okay.
And but it's
continue.
supposed to be healthy. Like, oh, this is healthy. It's actually not.
Slurry. Okay.
Like, by all the shit that you add into it, it's not healthy.
Okay, that's
But
the
then
first part.
there's grown animal product meat in a laboratory. So they take a piece of animal meat, they can grow it into a larger piece of meat. They can it just proliferates into meat, and that's the new. And then they can also do this with human flesh.
But why are they using human flesh?
I
And
think
where are
it's
they
like
getting
easier.
it?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can get a small.
You can donate
yeah.
blood. What are you going to donate a pound of flesh?
Like they're
It
gonna
starts-
start feed like we're
Something
gonna
the
feed
size of your
chickens.
the
They
size
feed
of your
chickens?
fingertip, and then that starts to grow into a piece of meat.
Ooh.
And next thing you know, you won't know if the meat you're eating is human byproducts meat or cow lab grown meat. That's why I just stick to the actual
Yeah, dead
meat.
cow. Yeah, exactly.
Dead cow that you can see, not ground.
Right.
An actual
I would go
piece
to the
of
carniceria
meat.
and look at like that is definitely cow.
Because everything else is going to be turned into a slurry
Ooh.
and put into hamburgers, chicken
Oh,
nuggets,
but
etc.,
they'll
etc.
sell it in a plastic tube.
But I
So
think
exactly,
With
it'll
little
be
metal
tubed.
staples at the end, right?
isn't
Yeah, that's what it'll be. It'll be
Uh-huh.
ground beef
Burger
inside
King
that.
did the Impossible Burger, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did the opposite.
It was a
lab-grown
slurry of vegetables and lab-grown meat.
It apparently went over quite well.
It tasted like shit.
Oh, they didn't like it.
Apparently, it tasted like shit.
They're doing it here.
Sick.
They have it here.
They have it?
Yeah, I saw it. There was like the what do they call it?
That would not go over well in Argentina.
Oh no,
the
they are
birthplace of
meat
good
eaters.
beef.
Yeah, they are meat eaters.
There's a lot of vegans out here, but
yeah, there's lots of vegans, but no,
that's too much.
There's way more.
Beef is the way of life here.
And it's so
beef
and
is
it's
king.
so
And it's delicious.
good.
It's imported all over the world, exported all over the world.
And it's so good. The beef here really is delicious.
I mean, out in the Pampas, they get so much rain. There's so much green grass.
Oh
the
yeah,
beef is delicious.
Oh, and they're so healthy.
The Pampas are almost flooding with water. There's
And
so much
the
green
cows
grass.
are like,
The cows just
yummy yum.
and
they were like yummy yum.
Yes, yummy yum.
Everything from the cow here is good. The cheese, the milk, the butter, the beef.
Oh, the milk is creamier here.
The
The milk in Argentina is way creamier than like American homogenized, pasteurized, processed milk.
That's
Whatever they call that shit.
They probably dehydrate the milk when it comes from the cows, and then they rehydrate it with the right chemicals in it. You know, that's how
In
cigarettes
the U.S.,
are
you
made.
mean?
And Philip Morris, they make cigarettes. They take tobacco and they take everything out of it. The tars, the nicotine, all this stuff. So basically they have just a pile of weeds. And then they put it back into the mix for different brands.
Oh,
Well,
God.
think about it. Why are Chesterfields different from Marlboros, different from Newports,
right.
Lucky Strike.
different from Lucky
I just
Strikes?
figured it's like a.
Why are
like
they different?
The region of the tobacco,
No,
Camels
it's
have
not.
like a Turkish tobacco.
It's not. They take
like a coffee.
they extract all the nicotine and all the tars out of it, and they put it in. Each cigarette brand has its own formula.
Oh God.
That's why they're different. How else could they be different?
Yeah.
I mean, tobacco's tobacco.
I mean, yeah, but
Grow it.
but I imagine tobacco would taste different depending on the region. Like a coffee. A coffee from Ethiopia tastes different from a coffee in Brazil, which
I
is
think
different
that's
from
how
a
it used
coffee
to be.
It
in
all
Colombia.
comes from Virginia, anyhow. That's
But I mean-
tobacco made the United States.
Yeah,
I
but-
mean, we were
that's
sucking
true.
hind tit back in the 1600s.
Hind
We were like dying, you know. We had who was that guy?
Tobacco.
John Cook was off screwing around with Pocahontas, and they're like
John
shit.
Smith. There we
John-
go.
John
John
Smith.
Smith.
John Smith was off fucking
way back,
Pocahontas,
Jesus.
which I can understand that. That's pretty cool. The fucking Native Indian. Indian.
That's definitely
Give that a try here.
that is
Buenos
definitely
Aires.
that's definitely some like patriotic supportive propaganda bullshit. There was no John Smith and there was no Pocahontas. That shit don't exist.
Maybe
Oh
not. We
no,
don't know.
That's
she
just
went
some
back to England
patriotic
and she was a queen.
propaganda
Oh, no,
to
no,
make
she
you
did go back to,
There
she
are
died over
portraits
there.
of her in the British Museum
She
at
died in
Trafalgar Square.
They,
Easy for you to
the
say.
Americans said that to them to make them believe. They're like, "Oh, you believe in
It's a story,
believe
whatever.
that."
No,
It's
it
like the
happened.
Hottentot,
It
yeah.
happened, but you know,
But
but
I mean,
tobacco
it did,
became the mainstay, and that's why the United States
True.
is there. Because
Tobacco,
of the tobacco
cotton,
industry.
sugar.
In fact, it was tobacco that funded most of the Confederates because they were rich. They were so rich
Yeah.
that they were able to fund an entire army.
That
Just
and
those
cotton.
small, and
And
cotton.
cotton, and well, yeah, it was
And
more
their
in the,
slaves.
the sugar was more from like Colombia, I mean,
Yeah,
Cuba.
yeah.
Sorry, the
Like
South, more
America.
South. Okay,
Yeah.
but,
the North was
manufacturing.
manufacturing
That's
and,
where you get
and,
the money.
and intellectual.
Refinery.
That's why that's what the
intellectual.
Civil War was all about.
Right, so they had to
Yeah.
send the tobacco up to the North to get refined.
Refined. That was the
They couldn't
problem.
refine it. So like, well,
Okay,
We
let's-
talked to a
let's
tobacco
flip it.
farmer
Okay,
out
no,
here.
okay,
Sorry, no,
actually,
and remember that?
Let's do a quick flip on,
Well-
on the Civil War, okay?
Oh,
Bear with me.
all right.
Okay.
So
Figure this
the
one out real
North
quick.
said you have to. We can't get along with this stuff, and although slavery was kind of a minor point in the Civil War, it was a point.
Yeah, it was a very
And they
minor
said, okay, you guys have to get
But
rid
that
of your
minor.
slaves and free them. But the plantation owner says, I can't produce this cotton and this tobacco without the slaves. So
But you
what
can't.
what
Well-
if the South said to the North, you have to stop putting all this steam into the air to run your machines, you know, to make all this manufacturing shit. That's the same type of thing.
True.
If the South did what the North demanded, if the South demanded of the North what the North demanded of the South, I hope you can follow my reasoning on
Well,
this.
the South said, if the South's argument is we can't produce all this cotton without the slaves, no, it's actually it's more like, no, you can't produce the cotton at this level of profit without the slaves. You can still produce the same amount of cotton. You would just have to pay your slaves or pay your employees. The slaves would become employees, and you would have to pay them. So you can't produce this amount of cotton. Why do I keep saying coffin?
Tobacco.
Cotton.
Say
It's
tobacco.
Without
Cotton
the same
profit.
amount of profit. Your profit would go down.
Would it? Because
No.
now your slaves, now that they're free, they're paying you for their clothing, they're paying you for their housing, they're paying you for their food, they're paying you for everything.
Really, the majority of slave
They
owners in the
subsidized it
South,
somehow.
they took care of their slaves.
With their switches and whips?
Well, that is
That is very controversial.
Yeah,
Let's
We're not
let's
gonna-
leave
we're-
that one alone.
That can
No,
happen one
we can't
time
urban myth
on
that.
one plantation, okay? And
Once
that's
is enough,
what makes
Tom.
Stop,
media.
just
That's
end it right
what
there.
goes, okay.
Don't just stop it right there.
I want to take this back to me and Jonathan. We went to
There are
Florida.
sadist
Oh, Lord.
masochists all over the world, and they were
Yeah.
in the South too.
I would imagine there were more of those in
It was-
Japan.
They were gentlemen.
Gentlemen,
I see this conversation is going nowhere.
yeah, this one's going.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to
So
take it to
we're
Florida
gonna
once
stop
again.
All right, let's
We
go
went to
back
Florida.
Yeah.
Me and Jonathan we were camping out in Florida. We went to this campsite. We talked. There was an old man having like a gin and a mint julep or something on his little porch of his
His
camper.
caravan,
And so we went up and we talked to him. He was an old like Jimmy Carter slavery man, but he told us he used to have a cotton farm. I'm not going to say plantation, but a
Yeah,
farm.
a farm.
And he told me it was very, very intensive work to make tobacco. It was a tobacco farm. I said that right. To make tobacco go because it's tobacco. Because you have to hand pick the flower out of the top to make the plant continue to grow more leaves. You have to kind of
right, yeah. You stop it from propagating.
done this with
Oh, yeah,
basil.
yeah.
You stop the
do that with
propagation.
marijuana plants, too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you need someone to go through the fields and hand pick out, clip those flowers off in
Right.
all of the fields. And what he told us that they're doing now is that they made some kind of spray that if you spray your plants, it'll stop that flower from growing, kill the flower, and then your plants will continue to grow more leaves, more tobacco
God.
leaves. So half of what you
Already
ingest
you're smoking
is some of the spray that
this-
goes on because it's so
Oh,
intensive that no one
God.
wants to do that
Smoking
work.
is terrible.
wow.
But I tell you what, if
So
you've ever
that's why, maybe that goes to your
So that's
slavery
that's
issue.
what they mean by organic tobacco.
Very, very, very
They
labor
mean
intensive.
that's why organic tobacco is so expensive.
Because you have to
Because you have
hand
to
chop
hand pick.
every
is
single.
it better?
I mean, I've tried organic tobacco once, and it was because it was so expensive, but I had to try it. It was actually quite delicious.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm
Smoke less, smoke better.
yeah, maybe smoke less, smoke. I like that. I like that.
Yeah,
Smoke
Yeah.
less, smoke better.
in theory.
Right.
In theory, yeah.
Right.
I mean,
I can't do it.
throughout
So
history,
that's
everyone
why.
smokes. Smoking is so popular throughout everywhere in history. Everyone
And
smoked.
yeah, I mean, as early as we had fire,
The peace pipe and
we
everything.
put
yeah.
things and inhaled. They were like, "Ooh, this makes me feel good. Oh, let me burn more of this." Like, they're like ooga 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 ooga. Yeah,
That is
exactly.
this is the base of human existence. Just putting things in your mouth and seeing what
Okay.
happens.
Okay.
Experimentation.
Okay.
Experimentation.
Cro-Mag City, okay,
Chromax.
50,000 years ago. Okay, guys,
Ooga,
we're gonna
ooga.
get together. You know that woolly mammoth out there?
Ooga, ooga.
He's been on our list for a long time. We're
Ooga,
going to get
ooga.
him today,
Let's
right?
go eat that,
Rah,
Googa,
Okay,
googa,
we're- We're going to get that fucking beast, and it's going to be our dinner for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
So what do you say? Are you in on this?
Right.
Ooga,
Ooga ooga.
ooga, ooga.
Right.
Okay, and so then they passed the pipe.
Oh yeah.
Everybody got a little bit of endorphins going,
Right.
They got a little
Yeah.
epinephrine, pumping
Right.
through their veins,
Who
and
knows?
they
Yeah.
went out and they only
And they
lost
just-
3 or 4 guys.
Yeah, they just-
trying to kill that fucking mammoth.
But once it did die,
Hey, they got it.
and they did lots of drying, so they would dry that shit out, and it would last all winter.
But they got it. But you had to use some kind of little pick me up
Yeah,
to
yeah,
get your
like
to get
a
your balls
stimulant.
big enough, I guess, to go out there
Yeah,
and kill
like,
that.
Holy
It's like a
shit.
I don't know how big those things were. 20 feet tall. You
Yeah,
gotta go out there with like a
humongous
fucking
motherfuckers.
stick, and like we're
Yeah.
gonna kill this thing with a stick.
Oh my! And
All
it's
right,
like
let's do
covered in
this.
fur. It's got this giant. Yeah. Like,
We're gonna kill him with a stick.
So they all get their sticks
they're
and
throwing
just,
sticks that don't. That it like has only like the strength of a human.
yeah.
Like barely the arrowhead gets into its like body. It doesn't really penetrate,
Well,
right?
I don't know. I never touched a woolly mammoth.
Right,
You know,
right.
he's all hair on the outside. Maybe his skin's nice and supple underneath.
knows?
You know?
Who knows?
He's not like a rhinoceros.
But then the motherfucker has these huge
Have
tusks.
you
Just
ever
like,
touched a rhinoceros? Have
No.
you ever touched a rhinoceros?
No.
Nope.
I haven't either.
No.
I imagine they're.
Although they walk through the streets in like Bali or some shit.
Yeah,
on
they
the
do.
mammoth.
And people are like, hey,
No, not in Bali. That's the
but
monkeys.
No, it's
Yeah.
in India.
Monkeys
Somewhere in
all-
India,
somewhere in
Bangladesh,
India.
India.
Sorry.
No, it's the monkeys you got to look out for, Bali. They come in and smoke your dough.
Yeah.
You get up in the morning, it's like you got four or five
Oh, my
monkeys,
goodness.
4 or 5 monkeys laying around the living room, passing a pipe. That's like, where the fuck
Hold
my
on.
dough go?
Okay.
You goddamn monkeys, get out of here!
Okay.
And they drank all your alcohol too. Fucking monkeys.
And so now they're drunk.
What up's over
Yeah.
shaking martinis behind the bar? Says, oh hell, we gotta leave.
Now we got a bunch of drunk monkeys. Wait, that's us.
a bunch of drunk monkeys.
What do we call it? A bunch of bathing apes.
Bathing apes.
We are bathing apes. That's the only thing that separates from us from
Bathing
the rest.
ape.
We're bathing apes. The only difference between us and those fucking gorillas is that we clean ourselves.
Yeah, we
Okay,
take
yeah.
baths,
Okay,
bitch.
this is where the unwashed herd comes from.
Oh, there
Yeah,
we go.
exactly.
Yeah.
They haven't bathed. Those apes are dirty.
You know, they didn't have soap until like the 14th century.
Which they had to make from the melted fat of their dead animals.
Yes.
Oy.
If you can imagine having a time machine and going back to the 14th century,
I would bring an
you would
M16.
probably fall over as soon as you stepped out of that capsule from the smell,
Oh, God.
the stink.
Oh,
Wow.
God.
We're so
Oh,
lucky
God.
that we are
True.
bathing. We are bathing monkeys.
Yeah, I mean, just getting on the soup day, sometimes you can smell the little bit of odor that comes from people.
Oh,
Yeah. That's true.
Damn,
Oh,
Jesus
Jesus Christ, yeah. And sometimes you'll have those old trains that don't have air conditioning, so all the
yeah.
windows are open, and all you get is the air coming through the tunnel. And it's like, I mean, I guess they could probably
Circulated.
Circulate
yeah,
or,
but
or
still,
yeah.
They don't,
The
yeah.
tunnels
It's-
and then
yeah.
Well, the tunnels in the
Yeah.
States and in Italy also have big fans. Every, like,
That's
I don't know,
it.
every
Mm.
500
Oh, the
600
vents,
feet.
yeah.
Yeah,
Just
but they have
vents.
those here
It's a big,
too.
huge-
And you
the
can
soup-
walk over them and you're like, ooh, like, ugh, smells like the soup tech.
it smells like human armpits and mold.
But God,
Rat
inside the
shit.
train, ugh.
Yeah, because
Especially if you're standing right next to one, you're like,
Exactly.
oh,
Everyone's got their hands
armpit
up.
in your face, completely packed. You're like, oh God, oh.
I was
oh.
on a train in Madrid one time, and this guy, this big fat guy, came in and sat down next to me, and he had like a pound of some kind of bratwurst, you know, in those plastic tubes you were talking about with staples on the end.
Oh, yep.
And he just
Oh,
started
Lord.
eating it like it was an ice
Oh,
cream
my
cone.
God,
and
disgusting.
the smell, the stench was just
Oh,
incredible.
that's
God, I
disgusting.
couldn't stand it. We had to get up and leave.
Ugh.
That is, oh God, that's so nice. Wow, ew. Let's do some predictions.
Oh, I don't
Should we
know
do
that. Okay.
Do you have who has a prediction
All right.
prediction suggestion for this week?
Okay, we should always think of our predictions ahead of time.
Yeah.
We
let's do
really
that.
should.
Yeah, because
We're
we should
missing
always have
this.
some really good predictions.
Yeah.
How about this? Well, do you have one?
No, go ahead.
All right. Well, recently Milei said that you are no longer allowed to use gender-inclusive language in any official government document. So my prediction is, and in Spanish, being the O for masculine, the A for feminine, when you want gender neutral, you put an X in the place of the O or the A. I am going to predict that, okay, so we've had a strike for the air, we have strike for buses, we have strike for teachers.
Oh Lord.
I say we're going to have another gender strike coming up pretty soon. There's going to be a new gender strike coming up.
A gender strike.
Yeah, like for like gender or like LGBTQ plus the ABC rights. I think there's
Honestly-
a strike coming up. There's going to be
Okay.
one soon. Surely.
If
because
I
he-
may, every single one of
What?
my teachers hates it,
What?
and
the X?
the X, and so do a lot of Latino people. It's
But it's a good solution for a difficult problem. Like how do you instead
Because
of saying,
that's part of your ingrained language.
instead of going, I'm going to a party with my guy friends and my girlfriends.
Amigis.
You could say, I'm going to a party with my amixes.
No,
Easy.
It's amigis.
Your
Amigis.
Your exes?
Amigis. Amixes.
See?
You just say amigo, but put an X instead of O.
I
Amix.
say E.
And the X means boys
that
and
roll
girls.
off the tongue.
No one
That-
says
that-
amixes.
I
They
say
say
amixes.
A language should just tear you
They say
apart on
amigis.
that.
I was talking with some 22-year-olds the other day,
Amigos.
and I was like, oh yeah, I'm going out with my amixes. And she was like, I love that. I was like, what? She's like, amixes. I was like, amix. It's like, oh, mis amixes. Oh, so it's almost latixes. I was like, what? Oh wow, you're actually pronouncing the X. I didn't know that I was doing that. I just did it because I thought that's how it was pronounced. But she loved it, and she's like, I'm gonna tell this to all my friends, and the kids are using them. The kids, the younger generation,
Well,
are using this.
I think the young people
Well,
are coming up with their
Don't.
own
This is not a
ways to say
conversation.
it.
That's just my
Yeah.
prediction. Y'all
We
tell
should've
your
done this way
predictions.
earlier.
Y'all tell your predictions.
Young people are coming up with new ways of saying
Y'all
it.
tell
but
y'all predictions. We can talk about this later.
They're saying the word, they use amigi. They don't use the
That's
word
another, yeah,
X.
that's another one. That's another
It's
one.
more creative. They're getting creative with it. Let's see. My
Prediction. Think of a
prediction.
prediction.
Let's see. I imagine that Texas fire will burn hotter and longer and kill way more cows and possibly some migrants. Sadly. Yeah, I'm gonna say that. I think Texas is gonna have its biggest fire ever.
Can you put what do you think it's gonna be? 3 more days, 2 more days, a week?
No, I just think it's gonna become the largest fire ever Texas has ever had.
Okay,
on
there we go. That's
its-
it. There you go. That's a better prediction.
Yeah,
It's
the
gonna be-
first-
This will be
yeah.
the largest.
Yeah, I think it's gonna keep going until it's the largest. Yeah, there we go.
All right.
Okay,
And your prediction?
not having given this any thought, I predict that the big green spaces in Buenos Aires are going to turn gray when the leaves start falling off, and we start calling it fall. And I'm really kind of bracing myself for that because, I live on the big street in Nueve de Julio, and it's just total green in front of me. It's going to change. So that's my prediction. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
best I can do. But
yeah.
next week we're going to think about this.
Yeah, well,
we
yeah, I will.
are going to have real predictions.
Well, yeah.
Or maybe the audience can ask us some things they
Oh
want to
yeah,
know.
ladies
Give
and
us
gentlemen,
some-
if you would like to give us a prediction, definitely put it in the comments above the poll. And also, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or any of our other syndicates, please put it into the comments. What is your question for our predictions? And with that, we're going to have to come to an end. Thank you all for listening to today's episode of The Velvet Hammer. If you like what you hear, and especially if you didn't, remember to subscribe below on your favorite podcasting app. Until next week, this was another slightly brummed out episode of The Velvet Hammer.
Hey, have a great week.